Good evening, friends. It's time to continue on in our next portion of the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, one of the apocryphal books. Before we jump in to this book and this reading, let me just point out that we recently completed our reading of the book of Lamentations, and on this channel, there is a whole playlist. A 6-part series playlist, reading through Lamentations. And the link for that playlist is now in the chat. That's a short one. 5 chapters. We're in the midst of a long read presently. Ecclesiasticus, aka Sirach, aka the Wisdom of Ben Sira, has 51 chapters. We're in this second portion, chapters 2 through 23, collected teachings, dozens of proverbs. Every part of life is transformed by God's wisdom. We are resuming tonight at chapter 19, verse 20 of Ecclesiasticus. So, there's no risk of, well, not risk, there's not any reasonable thought that we'll complete this second section tonight, but it's looking closer and closer around the corner than it once was, since we are nearing the end of chapter 19. Good evening, Anthony. Good evening, Mom. Good evening, Don and Linda. Let's read. We're going to try to do it side by side this way. See how it works. Sometimes the side by side presentation in one window works nicely, and sometimes not. The Common English Bible is on the left hand, and the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition is on the right hand, and we will be reading from the left column, the Common English Bible. Get our timer in the right spot. And oh, it's already reset. Don't need to do that. So let's read, friends, beginning at chapter 19, verse 20. Fearing the Lord is the whole of wisdom, and all wisdom involves doing the law. Note there's a missing verse there. 21 is not included. This has been a common thing lately of having verses that some translations agree aren't exactly the most authentic. These two translations agree, and so verse 21 is not included there. I have read some of them. We're going to keep moving, though, so we'll pass that by. Verse 22, the knowledge of wickedness isn't wisdom, and there is no prudence in the advice that sinners give. There is a kind of cleverness that is detestable, and there is a senseless person who lacks wisdom. Someone who fears God, but who has inferior intelligence, is better than someone who abounds in intelligence, but who violates the law. There is cleverness that is precise but unjust, And there are people who abuse favors in order to get a favorable decision. And there are people who act wickedly, bowed down gloomily, and their insides are full of treachery. They hide their faces and they pretend they can't hear when you aren't paying attention. They will outrun you. If they are prevented from sinning, it's because they lack the strength. If they find an occasion, they will do evil. People are known by their appearance, and sensible people are recognized in a face-to-face meeting. A person's clothing, their vigorous laughter, and the way they walk will proclaim things about them. Chapter 20. There is a bad time to rebuke someone. Those who keep silent are the prudent ones. How much better to investigate than to be angry? And those who confess openly will be kept from loss. It's interesting. The NRSV has a wording that seems a good deal different, doesn't it? And the one who admits his fault will be kept from ridicule. I think something different in loss as opposed to ridicule. It's an interesting thing to keep in mind there. Verse 4, like eunuchs desiring to violate a girl, so are those who make decisions by force. That's an odd line in both. There are people who are silent and are found to be wise. And there are those who are hated because they talk a lot. There are those who keep silent because they have nothing to say in response. And there are those who keep silent because they know the right time. Wise people keep silent until the proper moment. But those who swagger and are senseless will miss the right moment. Those who talk excessively will be loathed, and those who pretend to have authority will be hated. Some people have success in bad circumstances, and there's a windfall that results in loss. There's a gift that won't profit you, and there's a gift that will bring twice the return. There are losses suffered for the sake of one's reputation, and there are people who have raised their heads from humiliation. There are those who buy a lot for a little, and they pay for it 7 times over. Wise people make themselves dearly loved by means of words, but fools pour out gifts. Gifts from senseless people won't profit you because they look for a lot rather than a little in return. They will give a little and reproach a lot, and they will open their mouths like a town crier. Today they will lend, and tomorrow ask for it back. Such people are hateful. Fools say, I don't have a friend, and there's no gratitude for my good deeds. Those who eat the bread of such people have mean tongues. How many will ridicule them, and how often? A slip on the pavement is preferable to a slip of the tongue, so the downfall of evil people will come quickly. A disagreeable person, an untimely story, it will always be in the mouth of the uneducated. Proverbs told by fools will be rejected because they'll never tell them at the proper time. One may be prevented from sinning by poverty. No, some are prevented from singing the sin. Some are prevented from sinning because of poverty, and their conscience won't be pained when they rest. Some destroy their life through shame, and they destroy it because of foolish appearances. Some promise a favor to a friend out of shame, and they create an enemy for no reason. We're going to pause there, friends. Next time we'll pick up at chapter 20, verse 24. Friends, thank you for joining us and reading with us tonight as we have read further in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Have a blessed evening. Peace be with you.